Hello and welcome to POcast.com. I'm really very happy to have you here. In this podcast, you're going to learn about SAP Netweaver. I mean, almost everything that you need to know from its internal components and high-level definitions. I will walk you through the purpose of SAP Netweaver and why SAP tools are so much dependent on it. Then, we will deep dive into its capabilities, what it can do and capable of. Finally, we will touch base on the benefits of using this platform. Well, this is going to be a detailed session with tons and tons of information. Watch it over again if you don't grasp everything I talk. Okay, so let's get started. Before we learn about what is SAP Netweaver, it is important to understand what it is not. This will clear most of your assumptions if you have any about Netweaver. Well, it is not a programming language to write programs like Java, C, Python or etc. It's not a programming language means you don't use Netweaver to write a program. This is not a software application like Excel or a product like Microsoft Office. So you don't use Netweaver to develop something. It is also not a collection of libraries or APIs that can be used to write program or build applications. I think many people have this assumption that SAP Netweaver has a collection of APIs and we can include these APIs to write programs using Netweaver, which is a completely wrong assumption. It's not like a JDK or .NET libraries you download it and start using and writing applications. Finally, don't assume this as a server. It's not a hardware, it's not a database, nor an OS. Well, did I break any of your assumptions? I think so. Some might have a different assumption. If yes, then share in the comment what was your assumption. I would be happy to hear from it. Well, if it's not all above I said, then what is SAP Netweaver? Let's continue. The simplest definition to remember about Netweaver that it is a technology platform. Well, I repeat, it's a technology platform. These two keywords, technology platform, actually explains everything about Netweaver. So I'm going to repeat technology platform again and again just to make sure it sticks to your mind. Okay, I'll start with two simple definitions that you can remember and use it to define Netweaver. You can actually use it when someone asks you what is SAP Netweaver. You can just use the definition to explain in simple English words. The first definition, SAP Netweaver is a collection of components, right? It's a collection of components put together to address a specific challenge. Or you can say SAP Netweaver is a technology platform. Well, if someone will ask you, so what is a technology platform? So let's look at what is a technology platform. Technology platform is an ecosystem in which we can solve specific problems with the components in an ecosystem. Well, I use a jargon called ecosystem, right? So when I say ecosystem, that means it can include various applications, development tools, servers, and manages security, uses industry standards, and manages the application lifecycle like installation, upgrade, patches, restarts, monitoring, etc. Okay, so I will rephrase the definition I used earlier in this context of technology platform. A technology platform could be a collection of technologies, capabilities to address specific business needs. So SAP Netweaver is a technology platform. It's a technology platform, so it has a collection of software applications that provide different capabilities. The first capability is a portal capability. That's basically it's a series of tools to build web applications. It has the analytical and the reporting capabilities. So it has its own database. It has some nice UI to build reporting and analytics dashboards on top of it using those data from the database. It has tools to integrate systems to exchange the message. That's the PI and PO tool. It has applications to build mobile applications. Then it actually handles the whole logistics itself. It manages the security and the identity. Who's going to log in? Where is going to log in? What roles does it have? What authorization does it have? And the whole single sign-on is managed by the Netweaver itself. Means if there's a user who have access to all the application, then he don't have to enter the password in all the application. He just sign into one of the application, then a single sign on all the other applications. Netweaver also provides some set of tools to work with these capabilities. It actually embraces the industry standard technologies like web services, XML, BPMN, and many others. Don't worry about if you don't really get those jargons there, but just understand that it actually adopts industry standards. It actually provides an underlying server to deploy the application, which supports ABAP and Java programs. Means all the applications or software application which is listed under technology platform under the SAP Netweaver are all has to be deployed either in ABAP or in Java. Okay, and the whole application lifestyle is basically managed by the Netweaver. Okay, let's look further in what's inside the Netweaver, how it is being categorized, and what are the specific tools that actually makes up these capabilities. Well, if SAP Netweaver is a technology platform, then how can it help? What is the purpose of it? What challenges does it solve? And how SAP uses it? Think for a second. How does SAP makes money? Interesting question, right? Or what are the products of SAP? Do you know how SAP gets money? Well, it's simple, right? It sells software. Well, SAP sell wide range of products, right? It also has applications. It provides services to enterprise of different size, to small, medium, and large companies. That's how they make money. One of the core product suite in the SAP product catalog is the SAP Business Suit. Well, if you're hearing Business Suite for the first time, let me walk you through that. SAP Business Suite is a collection of SAP software applications and industry-specific solution, which actually helps companies to manage their business. So SAP Suite can be think about like in Microsoft Office, which has Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and each application solves different challenges. Excel is used for calculation purpose, Word a document processor, PowerPoint is for presentation, right? So Business Suite also have this collection of series of software applications. SAP Business Suite is a collection of 5 things together. The first is ERP, CRM, SRM, SEM, and PLM. So let's go through one by one. I just give you a fairly rough idea what is all about. The first tool is basically the SAP ERP. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, which helps to manage the company's enterprise process like material master, sales, finance, and etc. If you are an enterprise company with a large scale and you want a system of record where you want to store all those information like your customer master, supplier master, material master, sales that's been happening, and finance information, this software actually helps you do that. The next is the SAP CRM, which is Customer Relation Management. This tool helps to record the information during the sales, services, and the marketing. So it's basically a tool that has been helping the business process that's happening between you and your customer. It supplies the customer focused business areas. So an example would be when customer calls to your help desk, all the conversation and the ticket management can be done using CRM. Next is SAP SRM, Supplier Relationship Management. This software helps to coordinate the business process with your key suppliers. It helps to manage the buying and selling process with the supplier. Next is SEM, Supply Chain Management. This software manages the complete process of production planning, business forecasting, and demand planning. It helps to take care of the complete procurement to pay process. Procurement means buying to payment process. Next is the PLM, which is Product Lifecycle Management. This software manages the product idea, then building a product and basically doing a repair for that product. So the complete lifecycle management of a product has been handled by PLM. So all these individual applications address various business operations and they actually solve different business challenges. And SAP combines them into one product, that is the Business Suite. And SAP Netweaver provides a technology platform for these applications to run. So think of a Business Suite is basically more on giving a service to the customer, and SAP Netweaver is basically a technology platform sitting in the back, providing a platform to run those business suites. And all the required tools, server, security, maintenance of the application actually managed by Netweaver. So whereas Business Suite concentrate on mapping those companies' business process with the solution to run the business. So what's the purpose? That's the intention, right? So the purpose of Netweaver is to provide that platform to run those products. So that's where SAP actually leverages Netweaver as its platform. And Business Suites is basically the selling point for SAP. Let's step back from NetWeaver, and I would like you to think about challenges that is evolving in technology market, just to get a feel of challenges. If you look at the global trends, which actually I'm displaying here, like cloud, in-memory computing, mobile devices, social media, they actually heavily impact the way traditional IT business runs. You cannot just stick to one type of business methodology and say this is it. You have to move with the trend and with the technology innovations. Imagine we own an e-commerce company, right? We sell products via web portals, and we are a very good company. We make good profit, and the portal is nice. Everyone can access. Suddenly, with the increase of mobile devices, everyone has a mobile device now. Now there's a demand to have those portals within the mobile app. Now the company has to adopt that change and start building mobile apps on top of the web portal. Also, with increasing cost on hardware maintenance in premise, we may need to look at the cloud-based infrastructure. It's a completely change when you think of moving ahead with the technology. If our competitors on the latest technology with faster cache, SEO, responsive design, and any other cool features, then we need to be and approach faster on those new technologies too. So it's really challenging for any business to stay on top of the global trends and technology demands. To really move with the speed, customer request easy to use innovations. Don't just bombard with all those innovation at one go, right? They actually request to have step by step, one by one, and try to go ahead with the technology market that actually does not corrupt their existing core business processes. So what customer really expecting is easy to adopt changes, short innovation cycles, and ability to respond to new technologies. Well, SAP Netweaver embrace those challenges and move with the evolving technologies. So the diagram that you're seeing is the simplest form of SAP Netweaver technology platform that you can remember. Please remember this picture in your mind, as this can answer many of your questions about how NetWeaver is aligned, and I always remember this diagram when I have to recollect what is SAP Netweaver. But before we jump into every component of it, think for a while why it is split into people, process, and information. It actually means that SAP Netweaver platform has components that would resolve the challenges around people, process, and information. So that's the reason the SAP Netweaver is split into 3 different groups. And all the software inside NetWeaver, whatever it is, are around these 3 areas, which is people, process, and information. And why it is defined as people, process, and information? Let's look into it. The people actually means application that helps to connect to people, like web portal, mobile applications. It's like a user interacting and connecting via 2 people. Process actually means that it helps to exchange data to complete a process. Take an example, right? If you are doing an online payment, then the flow of information from website to bank, then back to website is a good example of data exchange between the 2 applications. That's a complete process between website and a bank. Information actually means that collects the data and uses it for generating the reports, providing many insights on the behavior. Remember this one more definition of SAP Netweaver. SAP Netweaver has applications and tools that connects people, process, and information together. SAP Netweaver provides this technology platform to address the challenges to engage the people, integrate the systems, and study the information. That's why it's divided into people, process, and information. When all the applications under people, process, and information are developed, where they actually get deployed and executed. So if you look at the diagram, you have an application foundation layer, which actually helps to provide the server that can be used to deploy the applications developed by the tools under these 3 layers. We'll discuss in detail about application foundation layer in upcoming sections. But for now, let's continue to look at other components. The lifecycle management helps to manage lifecycle of the product or applications that is being used. Again, what is lifecycle management? Just to remind you, it's like upgrading, patching, restarting, monitoring, etc. of the applications. Then security and identity management take care of the security of the applications, and composite environment is generally used to develop composite applications that uses existing services. It has been developed by each of these components inside the people, process, and information. Some of the tools in composite applications are composite application framework, guided procedures, visual composers, portal content modeling, Universal Work List, SAP NWBPM, and BRM. Well, we probably go in details about this in another podcast. So this is just an overview of SAP Netweaver. Next, we deep dive into its internal architecture. Let me zoom inside the architecture that we saw previously and then discuss what are the additional applications inside each section. You'll find the actual software or the application under the category we previously discussed, which is people, process, and information. And one more thing. If you find me repeating some words again and again, actually I'm doing it intentionally so that those words stick to you. So bear with me. Let me run through the diagram. Starting from bottom, Application Foundation has two main servers, SAP Netweaver ABAP server and SAP Netweaver Java server. So these are basically the application server, and they are also termed as SAP Netweaver application server. So don't get confused between application as SAP Netweaver and SAP Netweaver application servers. Applications under people, process, information can deploy the respective code in one of these servers. So if there is a software which is under people, that actually uses the application server to deploy its application. And these two servers provide the underlying support to run the application. When it's a run, it actually used to deploy, run, and manage. Under the information, we have master data management, which holds the master data of the company like vendor master or customer master information. Then knowledge management is like content management or Google Drive. Business warehouse is like a database which holds all the historical data of the application. Under process, we have process integration. This is the tool we use to integrate applications. BPM, BRM are used to create step-by-step process to complete end-to-end integration. Under people, we have enterprise portal, which are actually used to build the web portals. And then the mobile apps are basically used to build an application that can be deployed on mobile. And third is basically the enterprise workspace, which is a collaboration tool. Single sign-on and roles management is managed by security and identity management. I want to discuss further about the application server that we saw previously as the underlying server. So this section I primarily concentrate on SAP Netweaver application server. So this SAP Netweaver application server is an application platform for all the SAP systems. All the applications deploy the application in the server which I discussed previously. Right? One thing to note that not all applications uses both ABAP and Java. They might be using the underlying application server, but they may not be using both of it. Some applications might be Java based, some are ABAP based, and some uses both. Like as an example, like enterprise portal application is a Java based tool, and all the code we generate are deployed in SAP application server Java. SAP ECC is an ABAP based, which store all its data and code in the SAP application server in the ABAP server. However, the new releases of SAP ECC started to use a feature of Java server. SAP PI uses both ABAP and Java server to develop, deploy, and run its application. Well, the newer version of PI, which is PO, is purely a Java based and it does not use any of the ABAP server. So let's understand two terms here. One is the application platform and another one is application server. Application server is just Java and ABAP based server. It's a Java server or an ABAP server. Whereas application platform also includes the underlying database, which is flexible to choose. If you are installing SAP PI, then you can choose to be in Oracle, MaxDB as an option to choose a database. Application platform means application server and database together. Well, that's all about the SAP application server. Next, let's look at how you will find different versions of SAP Netweaver diagram in internet, which is interesting to understand. I just googled for SAP Netweaver architecture diagram and found these three different images. It will be interesting to see different versions of SAP Netweaver architecture on the internet. If you understand what SAP Netweaver is, then it is easy to understand why so many components are shown together. Images 1, 2 and 3 talks about one thing in common. It's all about the SAP Netweaver, and as we discussed previously, SAP Netweaver is an ecosystem and it's a collection of components to form a technology platform. So you might have different versions of it. Components are added and removed based on the version of the Netweaver, and the diagrams are just representation to show the capabilities of it. So do your research and read about it but get your understanding right, which will help you to visualize it properly. If you still did not understand the diagram shown here, then go back, listen to this podcast. Next, I will show you the actual SAP Netweaver diagram from SAP itself. This is the actual picture of SAP Netweaver with its capability based on technology platform. Let me walk you through the picture from bottom. The application lifecycle management takes care of how the application is managed, like deploy, run, monitor, update, restart, patching, everything. We discussed this, right? The next is security and identity management, which allows secure access to all the application. Authorization and authentication is managed by this layer. Even we covered this. The custom development actually gives the user power to model and design the application and bring in the own tools like Eclipse. SOA middleware is the integration tool built on industry standards and open technologies that is flexible to use. I know this is very jargon to you, but SOA is actually a big topic to discuss. But I'm just giving a simple explanation to remember it, right? SOA means service-oriented architecture. Architecture in which everything is broken into services based on the business demands. Well, if you did not understand what I say about SOA, then actually I have a separate podcast which I deep dive on SOA, just the SOA. Next, the enterprise information management, which actually manages the master data and historical data storage. This is a part of information group. The business process composition is actually used to map the company's process into real-time workflow, which actually belongs to composition environment category. The business intelligence is mostly for reporting, charts, analytics, research on historical data. Guess what? Part of information group. User productivity is a front-end user like portal, mobile application, part of people group. So the theory we discussed was actually to explain to you about this diagram. And I know if I directly jump into this slide and try to explain you each and everything, you might not able to understand and visualize it. So I started with a simple diagram and then try to bring you to this complex one. If you're still here, then thanks and much appreciated for your patience to listening to me. So let me summarize the presentation. So this is the last slide of the podcast. Let me read the definition first. SAP Netweaver is an open technology platform that offers a comprehensive set of technologies for running mission-critical business applications and integrating people, processes, and information. Well, if you did not understand what I just read, then do yourself a favor. Go back and listen to this podcast again. Well, all I was doing from slide 1 was to explain you these statements in detailed manner. And if you get it, what I just read, then some job. Well, that's the end of this podcast. Hope you liked it and this helped you to understand SAP Netweaver in the right context. Just visit us at pocast.com and share your comments. If you have any questions, then I would be happy to answer them. Until then, see you later. Bye.